All right. So who do we have here today?
My name is Michelle Monique Baker Spire.
Wow, that's a long name.
Well,
Long,
it
pretty
would be
name.
McNeil, but my husband, I told him he'd have to take my maiden name because I couldn't fit it all on my license. But through the church, I'm Mormon, and through the church, it's Michelle McNeil.
Okay. So,
And this is Precious, and this is Trixie.
oh,
She's 12, and she's 6. They've been with me since they were about 4 weeks old,
awesome.
and they go everywhere with me.
I bet.
They're my saving grace since I lost Bob.
Is that what keeps you motivated? You said lost Bob. Was he your
My
husband?
husband died 2 years
Your
ago.
late husband? I'm sorry. to hear
We
that.
were together 23 years.
Wow.
I consider it 25 now because
Yeah.
I'm still committed to him.
Spirit and just,
Yeah,
I believe in that
it's
too.
hard. You know, for the first year that he died in my arms. He was murdered by the hospital.
Yeah. What happened? Elaborate.
Third degree. It was. He'd been in the hospital several times. He should have had. He was having all this water gain,
Yeah.
and like he was small, but he got so big that he couldn't fit his wheelchair in in a month's time, and he was having to have 5 to 7 liters of fluid taken off of him, and
Was that daily, weekly? Or?
about every month and a half, and that's a lot. I mean, if you know what a liter is, that's a
Yeah,
lot.
that's a
That's a
lot.
lot, and they should have done dialysis on him. They should have put him into drug-induced coma. He said he didn't want to. His birthday was tomorrow, 2 years ago. 2 years ago
Sorry.
today, tomorrow, and he would be 60. He'll be 61 tomorrow. We're celebrating his birthday with my mom and my daughter and I. We're getting and grandson. We're getting him a cake.
Congratulations on that. I mean, that's awful. I don't know what I would do without my wife. For every king, you have a queen. I truly believe that. And
And behind every good man is a good woman.
facts.
It's like now we're gonna have a female president, and she may not be the one, Debbie,
Yeah.
but I have a feeling that once a good female president, a good woman is in the office as president, it's going to start being all women that are presidents.
Yeah, that's what's
I
going to
truly
happen.
believe
It's
that.
going to take over. I believe women are thinkers.
I mean, you think
Like-
about it. God is supposed. They say God is a man. Okay, I think that our dogs. They say they're man's best friend, but God and dog are backwards, and so therefore, I've always had dogs, and I've always felt that these are God's eyes. They're God's eyes looking at us and keeping an eye on us because no matter what we do, they love us unconditionally.
I believe dogs see through God's eyes.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Same, yeah.
He
Essentially.
sees through theirs, they see through
Yeah.
his, but it's all black and white. You know, by what they say, anyhow.
So why are
Mama.
why are you out here on the streets? Why are you homeless?
This time I'm homeless because when my husband went into the hospital, he'd been in twice before that,
Yeah.
and it was really really bad. He was so young.
How old, if you don't mind me asking?
Well, he would be 61 this year, so
Oh, yeah, that's
he
young.
was 2 years ago. He would have been 58. No, yeah, he would have just turned 50. Yeah, 58, I think.
Yeah.
But we were together 23. He was my manager at Checker. I was my father's caregiver. When my dad died, I started working at AutoZone because I was always, you know, my playground when I was growing up in Iowa was the junkyards because family was into derbies, and we moved here when I was 14, and that was the year that girls can become powder puff drivers.
Cool.
Because in Iowa you can drive at 14.
Yeah, that's cool.
And
so
I
you were
lived on the
somebody who
farm.
knows your way around vehicles and stuff.
Yeah,
Definitely know how to
yeah.
change a tire. Let me guess.
Oh yeah, the first time I changed the tire was on McDowell Road by like this side of the 101, east of the 101.
Yeah.
At the time when there was no lights, but there was that one canal, and I got a flat tire. Never had nobody show me before that, and it had tools, thank God. But I have common sense. Anybody can make it through life with common sense.
Yeah, that's
The
true.
smartest people in the world have no common sense.
Isn't that funny how
They
that
have
works?
none.
The smartest and the richest people in the world
Yeah,
have
exactly.
no common sense.
I mean, it's very seldom to find somebody who doesn't. You know,
Yeah, that's
why
true.
they don't know what they don't see how hard life is. You know, for people who don't have it. I've never had money.
Yeah, me neither.
I
I understand that struggle.
none of my family. I mean, I used to dance.
Yeah.
I started dancing when I was 18,
Mhm.
my dad had multiple sclerosis, and he used to drag himself around from his bed, and I couldn't do it. He said, they'll take my independence away. So I started dancing at the Alaska Bush Company, and I was the original Bush baby.
Uh-oh.
Not because I was the
is
youngest.
That,
Nude.
33rd or in Indian school
Grand,
or 35th?
Grand, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, and I loved it. It was like family. It wasn't like Omar's bar was bad,
So they had a family environment.
Yeah,
there?
the girls actually hired girls.
Oh,
And it was Jack and his mom that ran the bar.
so no funny business going on.
No, no, they didn't have prostitution and shit like that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Stuff like that. We all had respect, and we were pampered. We had sun tanning booths. We had makeup artists, hair artists, nail artists. We had,
Sounds like a party.
everything. Oh yeah, we were family, and I stayed there till I was in my 30s, and then when I went to another bar to take my daughter for a waitress job when I just turned 50, the owner asked me if I wanted to dance. And I'm like, wow, really?
Yeah.
It was such a boost. It was such a boost because I'm 55 now. I'll be 56 in November 2nd. November 2nd.
That's great. I hope I only dream and hope I can be as in good a shape as you and look like you look when I'm 55. I'm gonna be 46.
Well, I get on the train, and the bar's up on top, and I'll go like this. No, 1, 2. And I'll start doing pull-ups on the bar.
Yeah.
And this one lady, she's like, "Oh, you go, girl." And her old man was like, "Oh, you can't do another one. You can't." I said, I grew up on a farm,
So you definitely know what it's like to be. Oh yeah, I got guns.
And I have a client, and he weighs like 250 pounds. He has no use of his legs, and I transfer him from his bed to his chair back. And I don't hurt myself. Learn a lot of techniques, and I get behind him, and I put my feet like this, and I brace myself, and I just kind of ease him into his chair,
Is it a Jerry chair?
Yeah, it's one like Superman, the original Superman.
Okay. Yeah.
That's my cousin.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was my cousin.
Yeah. So.
I never met him, but.
Oh, you never actually, but he's your cousin.
And Ron Hoon is my cousin. He's my fifth cousin, Dad's fourth cousin. And I unfortunately never met him, but I want to.
Yeah.
I feel I need to because he's not like the main anchorman no more. And my aunt, also my aunt Janet or my aunt Jeannie in Iowa, she's another one, because we need a spokesperson. We need somebody to go to speak on our behalf that knows what it's like down here, and my aunts and my my uncles, they know what I've been through, and I'm not on the streets because of drugs. Yeah,
you definitely don't look like it. Yeah, that's crazy.
I've made my mistakes, but when I lost my husband,
things happen.
He died in my arms. He was murdered by the hospital. The people who were supposed to take care of him, they wouldn't maintain his pain. He was terrified to go back in the hospital for the third time. He was a vet. Requested because when they pick you up in an ambulance, they take you to the closest hospital and stabilize you. Yeah. If you're a veteran, you're supposed to be, if you want requested to be transferred. Not once did they ever do that. I need a lawyer. So bad I need a lawyer, but I just don't trust my judgment. Because I got the money. I had no money, and now I got $4,000. And my husband, he was on ice for 2 months before I got the money. And they had done a procedure. I'm sorry, because he's really white. Like you're light skinned, but he was white, not like ivory white, but he's a white boy. And he had COPD, and so his oxygen was always at 88 for years. Well, he'd been in a drug-induced coma when he was when we first got our housing, but we had different last names and home inc. And we were sober. Our faith is strong and everything, but. He was always a manager, first assistant manager of auto shops or something. Yeah. Well, he's worked for all the auto parts stores. He was my boss. he came in after I did. We worked at the 24-hour checker down on 59, and I finally got him to get away from these jobs. And I did not know that he was a binge drinker, and he hated drugs, absolutely hated them. And
Razor edge.
yeah, my mom, my daughters, all four of my kids, none of them do drugs.
Wow. Amazing.
They see that I made when I was getting abused, I've been abused by 5 men, and my husband was the last one, and I fought him back. He had multiple personality. He didn't have it before that.
Yeah.
And but when they gave him his own apartment, they refused to give us our own apartment together, and these homeless people got him back. They got him started on drugs, and one of them gave him a hot shot. And they gave him a 3% chance of making it through the night. That was in, I want to say, like, '09.
Yeah.
And he died 2 years ago. He had God had a purpose for him,
Yeah.
I mean,
that's what they say, when no one can tell you when it's time to go. Only one man ran upstairs.
Yeah. Well, it's like, like I said, my faith's strong, and I mean, I could have been a statistic, but I'm so thankful I didn't, and I get a lot. I'm a very compassionate person.
Yeah.
I'm a caregiver. I took care of my dad who had MS. He died at 50 in one day. The day after his 50th birthday, just before Christmas. I have 4 beautiful kids. My oldest is nurse practitioner.
Do they know you're out here?
My youngest does.
How does she feel about it?
She's proud of me right now. She hated that I was on the streets,
Yeah,
but
obviously.
I mean, after Bob died in my arms, and these doctors, they killed him, literally. They did a blood test because his whole body went black.
Seems to me like
his
you got a lawsuit.
Yeah, I do, and that's why I need a lawyer really bad.
Yeah.
It's like I need somebody to refer me to one, because I just don't trust myself to make the right decision. But he used to work at Job Corps, and it took me months, because I'd gotten a security job, and I got a security job, and don't take this out of context, but most security jobs are dick jobs. That's why I said, he always got stressed, and he'd lose his job every time. He was a workaholic. He worked 78 hours a week, drive to and from, and he'd still find time to do my kids, bikes and all that. And he was the first man and only man that ever signed his entire paycheck to me.
That's cool.
Yeah, but I despised him.
Probably knew that you would do the best with it.
I despised him because when we first got together, not him so much, but the fact that I had to rely on him. I had to rely on somebody to take care of us, because I had endometriosis misdiagnosed, which is now common, but misdiagnosed 20 years. I almost died because I kept getting pregnant. I have 4 beautiful kids. They all look like me.
What are your kids' names, if you don't mind me asking?
Crystalline Spire is now Crystalline Crawford. She has a beautiful little redhead daughter. I met her when she was a baby, and I met her one other time. But my mom and daughter were watching her. She was probably 5, but she was afraid. They were afraid that if Krista found out that I was there, that she might not let them see her anymore. And my daughter, she could read a Harry Potter book, go to high school, have her social life, and do it all in 3 days. Harry Potter, the book, in 3 days. I mean, that girl is smart. She's a pastry chef. She has her own Comic-Con line, her own comic book line. They have their own printing business. She only has one job. From what my daughter, unfortunately, she is by far the worst housekeeper in the world. But she
can't be good at everything.
She's absolutely beautiful. I mean, they all are. And my son is Zachary William. He has 3 little girls. I've only met one. But when I met my granddaughter, they introduced me to her as the maintenance man's wife. And although it broke, hey baby, come on, Trixie, come here. It broke my heart, but I was able to meet her. And even though she didn't know who I was, because I had only seen her when she was like 3 months old, because I thought tooth and nail, I got lied to by CBS, Child Protective Services back in the day, and they told me that we were living at the same place I'm living now. I live at 209 West Jackson. I take care of a man there. I'm not living there on lease, but my husband had worked for Job Corps. And I don't think it's there anymore, but it was a really good program, and I hated to see that go.
Yeah, I remember Job.
There was, when I lived at, with my husband, I got married when we were at Cass, and it was new. It was at the end of the crack epidemic on the streets, and when the cops cleaned it all up, and they did cleaned it up downtown, and it was safe, and Cass was a good place. Yeah, everybody was equal, and you could just feel the Lord,
Yeah.
There was zero tolerance on drugs, alcohol. One time somebody found a empty wine bottle in level 1. They woke everybody up, went through everybody's things, trying to find who it was. Yeah. It's not like it is now. My husband, they messed up his medications, and he woke up in another man's cubicle thinking it was a bathroom. And they kicked him out. And he took my van, and he was leaving, and they shut the fence on him and wrecked my van. My husband got lost, didn't know who he was. He was found in Agua Fria. I was so terrified. My van was totaled. All I knew was I walked out of Cass and walked off campus and saw my van totaled outside of what used to be the men's overflow.
It seems like you've been through so much.
We found him.
Made you strong.
And this is just a little bit.
Yeah, I bet.
But
let me ask you.
Sorry.
No, it's okay.
What my point to all that was, like, Bob was an alcoholic and all that, but we had been on the streets several times together. But I always trusted in the Lord. I had to. I know I should pray a lot more to him. I prayed a lot today. And
it's going to get better. It gets greater later. Like I say, it gets
I know
worse
that
before good.
because you want to know what happened today?
What?
In February, when he died, I lost his Social Security. I was his paid caregiver. I lost my home. I couldn't even go back to the apartments that I was living in because they had a new manager, and there was this gay guy that had wrote, and which was not true at all. Yeah. On the side, the curb outside of the complex. Yeah. She didn't know me, and he wrote in big red ink, Michelle Monique Baker Spire sells meth in apartment 153.
Yeah,
and that woman wanted me gone. Didn't even know who I was. Didn't give me a chance. She threatened to kick my daughter out, and so I packed my bag and I left. And I lived in a golf course for a while. But these two here,
they stayed with you.
They did. They did. They don't care if it's cold, if it's
hot, winter,
if
sleet,
it's wet.
cold,
it don't matter. These are my babies. They love me
awesome.
unconditionally. People will say, I know there's a lot of people that have never been homeless that see people with
Those
dogs.
Are just judgmental people.
People see people with dogs. I mean, there's people with dogs and cats. I have this stroller over here, and it was a gift, and everybody loves it. And they have petticoats.
Yeah.
Well, they had petticoats. Somebody stole her petticoat, and it's hard because she's got a messed up shoulder right here. She got bit by a pit bull, and Cass, I was staying at La Quinta on Greenway after they took us off the tents. Mm-hmm. And when they did that, they screwed us over so badly. They didn't tell anybody where we were. There was no resources. They didn't give us food stamps. We were fed 3 times a day. It was uncooked rice, uncooked beans. They had jalapenos and everything, breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Yeah, that's.
It was the most disgusting. The dogs. most people's dogs wouldn't even eat it.
Yeah.
And these two definitely wouldn't. They're so picky. If they're not eating mom's with food, mom, they're not eating.
Yeah.
Now when they go to my mom's, they eat dog food.
Yeah, real food. So last question, I want to know, where do you find yourself in 5 years? And do you mind me putting this on all my social media platforms so that the world could, be aware and understand what it's like? Not everybody's bad out here. There's good people.
There are so many good people.
Strong women
I was
people just, trying to get by.
Yeah, well, that's what I said. I'm not here because of drugs. I'm here because I lost my husband.
Yeah.
I lost my income. I lost my home. I'd already lost my family because I loved my first husband. I was 16 and a half years younger than him. And he stole him from me.
Yeah.
And he turned him against me, and I don't know my grandchildren.
Yeah.
But I do know my grandson. His name is Silas. My other kids are Courtney Danielle and Ashley Michelle. Chris is named after my mom. My son is named after my dad. Courtney is named after my sister and my daughter's favorite Barbie doll.
Yeah.
And my mom said I named her Ashley because of my grandpa Lee. And my mom goes, she needs to have your name, Michelle. And so she got my name, but with 2 L's. And she is the best mom. She's a single mom, but she has a boyfriend now that has 5 children of his own and 3 exes. And it's hard enough to deal with 1 ex, but 3, and she's younger than him. And his youngest daughter and my grandson are the same age. They started kindergarten together. They put them in the same. They didn't know they lived together, and they put them in the same table. Only 2 to this table. All of the rest of the kids had 3. Oh my God, that was a nightmare. But now they are inseparable and smart. My grandson, when he was 12 weeks, well, she was 12 weeks pregnant. They did a test, and because she kept throwing up, she only weighs 87 pounds now. She's tiny. I mean, I'm tiny. I weigh 100 pounds, and this is my family's normal size.
So
okay,
yeah.
But my dad was an agent for the railroad, so we all have our CV names.
Yeah.
Mine was my dad was service. My mom was flat car. I wonder why. And I was gondola girl, and my mom was boxer, or my sister was boxer baby. And that was my life. But people, we sit at our campsites, and people look at us, and I'm gonna have this lawsuit, and I shouldn't be out here. I should have money, and when I get my money, I plan to educate people.
Yeah, I think you strike me as someone that's gonna go far in life. You don't seem like someone that's here for the long haul. That's just from the outside looking in. It just,
Well, I was a yard mom at Cass, but it got to be so bad I never got no sleep.
Yeah.
And they had 2 classes, CBI did, which is community bridges, and it was wonderful then. But now it's not.
Yeah,
I mean, there are some parts that are, granted, they make themselves look a lot better but they took our lifetime housing vouchers away. I'm 55. Anybody that was 55, I know most people say I don't look 55, and I'm thankful for that.
Yeah.
My mom don't look her age. When I was 18, I looked 14. But, I mean, I look like a woman, but I look like a child at the same time.
So, like I asked, do you mind if I put this?
No, of course not.
All right, thank you so much, and your story is amazing. I'm gonna have to get a part 2 with you.
There's a lot more.
You got a beautiful, awesome story, and I really think that you're gonna prosper out here. I hope that you get your lawsuit, and that's what I want. We want the people to understand that not everybody out here is doing bad things or doing drugs, and we need to help her get a lawyer. She needs help with that. So if there's anybody out there that can help with the lawyer, let's get her one.
Yeah, well, this year's really been